What's that on your hat? Stock Pickers, what is it?
Yeah, Stock Pickers Academy. That's what I do.
What's that?
So I basically teach people how to invest, but long term. So it's like the everyday person. Like
When you say investors in what, I'm assuming stocks and shares, etc.
stocks, shares, crypto, mainly. But then there's some people who are already involved in forex where I'll still mentor them a little bit, but I don't introduce that to new
Okay,
people.
so are you the kind of person that there's some people I dislike on social media.
I'm like Chisel, but for investing.
No,
Basically.
there's some people I severely dislike, and I find their behaviour abhorrent.
They're pushing the
Pretty
thing.
asinine. I believe their methodology is poppycock, and there are plenty of nuances which I would like to discuss while I jump on my soapbox. Now, I find it interesting when there's a bunch of traders who come online and they petition people to give them money so that they can trade for them.
Yeah.
Now, the issue I have with that is that it's a bit of a win-win for you. So I didn't even ask your name. Sorry, sir.
Debidan.
Nice to meet you, Debidan. Sorry, we're just having a conversation. I don't know who you are. Sorry.
Man said you're so British.
Sorry. No.
They're doom.
Oh, so you're Nigerian.
Yeah, man.
Okay, interesting. So, sorry. So my issue is that there are people who will go online and say they're traders and ask people or petition them to give them money so that they can trade for them. Now, for someone like yourself, that's a win-win situation because you might say to me, "Oh, Gabriel, I've been trading for X amount of years. You showed me some graph, which goes up and down, showing how you've made someone money. Then you ask me for £1,000 to trade, and what happens is that if the £1,000 works and maybe you've made, I don't know, £200 profit on that, maybe you might collect 10% or 20% of that and then you give the rest back to me. Now, you've won, I've won. And let's just assume now that that £1,000 diminishes. And let's say, like, as you know, Rolls-Royce stocks have dropped dramatically. I'm down almost £2,000 on my stock. So let's say that happens now. Do you compensate me for that money if I've made a loss?
No.
So it's a win-win for you either way, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Not
saying?
me.
No,
I
it's a
don't,
great,
because I don't operate like that.
It's a fantastic,
But yeah, for them,
business model.
yeah.
You know, funny enough, you say that. That's why on Instagram, anytime I see someone follow me, and in their bio they've got forex, this, that, instantly I don't follow back.
Nah, they follow me, man. They follow me.
They're like parasites.
Yeah. So how did you get into I was gonna compare you to ACN and Omi, but I won't compare you to ACN. So how did you get into?
You never heard of ACN?
No. So how did you get into trading?
When Peckham, uni, and then I ended up in investment banking. Okay. So I was 20 when I started at Goldman Sachs on the trading floor, and there you're William Hill.
Okay.
You are the guy behind the screen, so you are making prices.
Sorry, I didn't know if you. Sorry, please take a seat, sir.
Do you know what? Yeah.
No one even.
Do you know what?
Sorry,
Yeah.
please, take a seat.
I do this on the train, bro.
No, please,
I
take a
never
seat.
sit down.
No, please,
I'm always standing. Yeah. So through my career, I ended up on the trading floors, and I looked around and was flying the coconut ice cream. Like one black guy, maybe. Do you know what? Maybe it was like 3 black people you look around and you see, and I was just like, rah. So if there's not many of us in the building, how's the knowledge on how to manage even your own personal money coming back?
Yeah.
So there's 2 things. Number one, I knew I had to help people get into banking, so I had to do a lot of mentoring on the career side. But then number 2, I knew that at some point in the future, I'd need to help people learn how to invest their own money and get a return. Right? So it started with the career stuff, and that needs networking. Bro, you can't help people get in if you don't have a network. So I had to network and come out my shell. I think I'm an introvert. Some people disagree because in the party you will think I'm the opposite. But I like my alone time. But when I'm out there, I'm.
When the Hennessy kicks. I'm better.
So it was one of those things where I had to learn my craft, and I've done my 10,000 hours multiple times, and I learned my craft through losing money, making money, like through experience. But at the same time, working in a bank, you've got the right mentors around you. You're expected to go through that kind of path. So most people have a pool of cash. They hear about this trading thing and they're going, but you've got no, you're not starting from experience. For me, after 10, 11, 12 years, so after I left, I took a very unorthodox route in my career, and I left the William Hill like style where you're making prices using maths models, all that, and I went into eat what you kill trading, which is like you eat what you kill, literally.
Yeah.
And
So
then
let's break it down for those of us who don't know what that means.
so Patrick Truman, EastEnders, right? He goes in with a pool of cash, thinks he knows about horses,
Yeah.
places some bets, and tries to increase his money.
Yeah.
That's eat what you kill.
Yeah.
If you don't make money, there's nothing to eat,
Yeah.
right? And then you've got the bookies themselves.
Yeah.
They're the shop. They're gonna make money regardless,
Yeah.
because they've got the models. They've patterned it nicely. They will make money. So to be a good investor, you need a bit of both. But most people out there only know or think they're Patrick Truman. They don't understand what happens behind the screens. And if they did, they would invest with strategy, with a different method. So I've kind of moved from William Hill to Patrick Truman, but surrounded with very successful Patrick Trumans.
Okay.
And then from there, I've come back into William Hill, Barclays Investment Bank, learned about the treasury side, the plumbing. This is the plumbing of investing that even people who worked in the city won't understand. Treasury. How does the treasury of an investment bank? Because that's trading as well, but you're just trading different products like loans and bonds and interest rates. And then I got headhunted to go to the Channel Islands, which is like tax haven, right? Guernsey. But over there was a hedge fund that I worked for, and what they do is they use mathematics to trade the markets, right? So they've got PhDs, ex-lecturers from Harvard. These guys will come in and really build some monsters, right? And my job is to use my past experience and my trading for the execution side of stuff. And over there, I really learned strategy. Like, some of it you can't transfer to to like your Hargreaves Lansdown or your normal stuff, but generally you can cherry pick. So what I've done is I've cherry picked every aspect of my career so far and come up with my own strategy that I feel that, and then simplified it in a way where I feel the everyday investor, the everyday person should be able to follow this system process. So it's not, I'm not going to tell you what to buy. Neither am I going to take your money and invest for you. I'm going to teach you how to swim, and then I'm going to coach you, right? So my job is to help you become the best investor version of yourself, right? I've got clients, right, who like a stock, but I say to them, how do you know what size you're going to invest, and how do you know what price you're going to buy at? Because the average investor likes a stock, justifies it, and then just buys it and says, I'm a long-term investor, it will go up. Whereas what I come in and do is say, it's not just me actually, there's a community. You know, once you're part of the community, you can let us know before doing anything, number one.
How many people in the stock pickers?
So in the Telegram is like 6,000, right? But that even started by accident. I was still jumping in for like 2 years and just sitting on my savings. It was going down when SPA kicked off, because SPA was just a WhatsApp group where I said to people, listen, everyone who's investing currently, I said, listen, I don't want this to be educational. I just want people who are active already, right? Tell us before you buy anything, right? We can do our due diligence as a group, right? And it's mad because obviously now I'm teaching, but I didn't want to at the beginning because obviously I knew I was going to go back into work and, do you know what I mean? It's just draining. And what happened is, there's two rules I always have. Like, I always leave like 30% of my portfolio as cash. And people are like, Debs, that don't make sense. And we used to have these debates all the time. And the other one is I take profits. So I'm not a buy and then hold to oblivion. Warren Buffett old school, because Warren Buffett has billions. He can do that. When you only have like 1K or 5K, you can't have this. You can be a little bit more aggressive, and you have to build. You're in a building phase of your portfolio, so the mindset has to be different. So anyway, 2020 January, the waiting list for the WhatsApp group is like 300 people, and WhatsApp obviously has a limit of 250, right? So I'm like, okay, this is too much. Like, no one's paying me. This is too much.
So what are the
what Telegram you could go beyond?
January 2020 Instagram page. Someone told me about Telegram, opened it in February, and then pandemic come out of nowhere. Market crashed, right? Suddenly everyone's knocking on my door, right? Everyone who thought they knew what they were doing in the same WhatsApp group that have come up with ideas that I've made, knocking on my door. So I was like, Zoom, can you look through my portfolio on Zoom? Okay, cool. So here's me doing bare hours for free. And then the next one comes. And then the feedback starts going through. And then before you know it, everyone's hitting me up. Like, can you go through my portfolio on Zoom? I'm 80% down. Nah, I'm on board. Whatever strategy you're using. Because I'm buying, obviously, because I've got this spare cash and I'm buying stocks have dropped and I'm buying. So like, Debs, you know what? I'm a buyer. Just teach me whatever it is you're doing. And then from there, I started teaching people rather than just being a doctor to the sick. And then from there, it just kind of became a one-to-one course and then a group course. And then...
Okay, how much would you say, let's just say what percentage of someone's savings would you say they should invest in trading? So let's say, for instance, I've got 100 grand in my savings account.
Yeah.
And let's say I want to go into some form of trading, whether it's stock, shares, some do spread betting, whatever it is. What would you say should be a percentage that someone should be willing to risk if they're going to go into trading? Would you say I should invest 50%? Would you say I should invest 20%, 10%? What would you say the general rule of thumb is?
Generally, it's case by case. But for me, I always advise 30% of your
max.
savings should go to investing. Don't ask me what I do because the number is high. Everything's out into something. But I think generally, obviously, your savings should be a portion of your income and your investing should be a portion of your savings, right? Now, you might run into a big amount of cash and then alter that as a one-off and then just...
Is it glorified gambling?
It is...
And I don't want a politician answer, yes or no. Is it glorified gambling? And what are the pitfalls and the downsides of people trading? Because as I said,
and you know what? Yeah, I'm going to stop you on the word trading because trading is to make an income. I do that, but I don't teach that. Investing is long term. You're building wealth, and there's a difference, and a difference in mindset, and a difference in expectations, and ultimately a difference in strategy.
Investing is more holding on to things like you said, the old school, like Warren Buffett.
That's a form of investing, but you can also invest. So if I say that pool of cash, right, that 30%, I don't want to touch it no matter what over the next 20 years. That's investing. Even if within that, you might get into something, market gives, Christmas comes early sometimes, right? If you get into a stock and you're happy to make 50% on that stock in 2 years, right? That's investing. But then that 50% happens in a week. Take your profits.
what kind of losses have you made?
Me?
Yeah.
What, trading or investing?
Whichever way you want to look at it, what kind of losses have you made? Because one thing we always talk about is the highs of trading. And I hate when people just talk about the highs in anything they do.
It's a good question.
Because as much as you may win, you're going to lose. And there's no one that I've spoken to who trades that has not lost. Like, I've got a guy who invested in Under Armour a while back. And I think he had about 300 grand in there. Okay. And no, I kid you not.
I believe you, and I know what's happened to the stock
about 300
price.
grand, and it dropped here drastically for almost 2 years. You couldn't touch that 300k because with trading, as you know, investment, whichever way you want to look at it, if you put money in and you decide to sell when it's dropped, the money's gone. But then there's that risk you take of riding it out, and if you try and ride it out, you don't know how long that's going to take. So so I'm asking you, what sort of losses have you incurred whilst doing your trading or betting or whatever you call it? So one of my guys trades, and this is basically his account. Okay, he does spread betting. So that's what he doesn't do it with trading 2-on-2 or like. So basically,
he uses IG Index, which I use.
Okay,
so I do it all. So
okay,
my trading is IG, all IG. I'm starting a thing with eToro now because they want me to be a popular investor. Okay, and that's like your legal way for people to copy your portfolio. So there's starting December, January, like I'll put content out on it. But all my trading goes through IG Index. All my investing goes through Hargreaves Lansdown.
Is that basically? Is that like? So that's basically what you're actually buying the stocks. In sales that you're actually investing. Because with spread betting, you're not buying anything.
No, and it's tax free.
And that's why. So
my bigger clients, I say, listen, this is your thing, investing. You have to use spread betting. My bigger clients, it doesn't make sense for them to be maxing their £20,000 a year tax-free limit when they've got 7 figures in there. It just doesn't make sense.
You might just go in spread betting,
But with caution and in the right way.